So my very first couple you meet in counseling that I wrote about in 2014, another one that's gotten me a lot of clients, is called Mr. Perfect and His Crazy Wife. So this dynamic is a guy who's considered very high achieving and awesome by so many metrics, and people love him at work, and everybody thinks he's a really nice guy and he's a great dad. Never has any issue with anything really, except with his crazy wife, right? So this is a more sensitive person, highly sensitive person, probably struggles with some anxiety or depression, and she wants to be closer. The problem with being close with this guy is he has no vulnerability, no weakness. And he really looks down on her for having that, even though he usually doesn't say it outright. But in fights, he'll be like, why are you fighting with yourself? Why are you making problems? Why do you always have an issue? Right? So if she wants to be closer, if she wants to spend more time than he has allotted for like work, hobbies, fathering, if she says to him like, oh, I noticed you had problems doing XYZ, whatever XYZ is, he's not going to want to hear that. She wants to be needed. She wants to be integral and essential to him. But the problem with him, and if you haven't realized, he's quite avoidant attachment. The problem is that he is almost pathologically independent and self-sufficient. He was raised like that from childhood to not need anybody. And she was raised to be preoccupied attachment. These people always find each other. And she is wanting, so she had a caregiver that could be warm, but was not really around to do so emotionally or physically on a regular basis. So it was like she was always waiting for the caregiver to turn the beam of the attention on her. But because of depression, addiction, anxiety, trauma, whatever in the parents, this woman did not get the amount of love that she needed at home. She is drawn to the avoidant Mr. Perfect guy because he seems like the stable parent that she never had, who could like kind of take care of everything. But also, it's very familiar to her to not be able to get his full attention because she wasn't able to get the full attention of a caregiver growing up. So this is the woman that will follow the guy from room to room, basically saying, you don't love me, you don't pay attention to me. And he's like, what are you talking about? I come home here every day, don't I? Don't I come home here? Don't I take care of this family? What else do you want from me? I have to go to work. Don't make a problem, right? And so this dynamic sometimes changes a lot when she goes to therapy and kind of develops some self-esteem. Then she'll say, why am I always begging somebody to hear me and take care of me? Also, once her, quote, crazy behaviors go down, because she gets older, she's a mother, she just kind of she doesn't want to be that person anymore, that dramatic, histrionic person. She was doing that originally to get his attention. It's never worked, and then it makes her feel bad about herself. So when she tries to stop doing these behaviors, sometimes the whole marriage just dissolves because he was used to being the good one and he's not the good one anymore. She's being all right too, or maybe she even goes back to work, and so she doesn't need him for like taking care of money and finances and telling her the way the world works anymore, right? So that's when Mr. Perfect and his crazy wife can have some real problems. And I do work with this couple a lot in therapy, especially if you come in on the younger side. This is a couple that can be coached into trying out new dynamics and ways of being that are more open, more real, more genuine, not so much of a trope, All right, and of course I've written about this and I have a podcast about this, so it's called Mr. Perfect and His Crazy Wife, and you could Google that on Dr. Psych Bomb.